come alive. Sorry, I had to laugh. Good morning. So that's your directive, come alive. Let me see it. What'd you think? Does that work? Is that good for you? Okay, good. Is there anybody here for the first time today? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, and they're going to bring you a gift. Well, actually, they're giving you a card, I guess. But there's a book you're going to get, and we want to say thank you for bringing your consciousness to us, being here today. But you know what? Tell me your name again. Diana. I want to tell you something about Diana. No, not that. I don't know her personal life. Diana, when she was a teenager, Ernest Holmes used to come to her house for dinner. But she was a typical teenager. She had no interest. Yes. But she's grown up in this science, and she's been through this, and this is her daughter, and your name is again? Lexi. Okay, great. Well, thank you for being here. We have a book. What book are we giving today? Oh, Mental Equivalent. You've probably seen that many times. It's a great book, simple to read. But for all of you who are here for the first time, and for all of you, and for everybody at home, this is for you. So everybody stand up, and let's do it. Because this is how we see ourselves. As one big family. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. Get up now, Aaron. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. All right, everybody, say good morning to one another. One big family. As John DePatty tinkles the guitar. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so how is everybody today? How's your week been? Everybody who's had a great week, scream out. Everybody who's had a lousy week, scream out. I just want you to know there's something here for everybody, right? So welcome to the Global Truth Center. We come together every Sunday in a spiritual community to do one thing and one thing only. But I'd like you to give some consideration to this. You're here. We come here to do one thing and one thing only. Think about it for a second and really decide, why are you here? And that's for you people at home too, all with your little couches and beds and coffees laying there watching us who all dragged our butts here. And those of you around the world, of course, that are not going to come here. But I want you to think about that too. Why did you turn on this device that you probably just turned off? Why'd you turn it on? So I'm going to ask the question again, and then give me your real answer. We come together as a spiritual community to do one thing and one thing only. What is that? I hear a lot of love, right? What did you say? Open my heart? That's a good one. What else did you? Somebody else screamed something out why they're here. Pavel, why are you here?
Because I need it for my heart.
You need it for your heart. Great. What else? Dave, why are you here? Because I told you you're in charge today.
To love only.
To love only. Okay, great. Why are you here, Eric? Because that's a long drive from West Hollywood. Oh, to remember. I haven't gotten there yet, but thank you. Okay, good. Why are you guys here? I know. Tell the truth. To hear Stan sing. To meet like-minded people, right? Yeah, Connie's here to see Stan sing, but good. To meet like-minded people. Okay. So, getting to our vision statement. So, what is a vision statement? A vision statement is something that you put into your consciousness as your default. For me, that's what it is. It's the vision of my life. How do I live my life? What's the philosophy? What's the truth in my soul that I get to live my life by? And that is love only, which pretty much this whole thing could just be that, right? Love only. Second? Challenging. Right? And then the last one. And I always say that if you remember, if the last one, if you're good on the last one, the other two come into play easily. Because if you remember who you are, you kind of remember there's nothing to forgive. Yeah. And if you remember who you are literally living from love only. But these are challenging, and these are challenging times to put these into action. So today is going to be really all about where the rubber hits the road with these ideas. You up for that? Yes. Are you ready to not play around today? And play around a little bit, but to you'll see as this beautifully unfolds. So I invite you to take a deep breath. Come on up, ladies. And today really is about getting ready, preparing yourself for something. Because really, the real reason why you're here to get something. And I don't mean like get something, but I mean you're here to get something, that heart-mind connection. So I invite you to dive right into that, and let's just see what happens. Get ready, my soul. What are you ready for today? Something different, maybe. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the sweetest kind of life, to the deepest kind of love. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done and everything I've ever been everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to this precious moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. I'm seeing life so clearly now. When you think about those words, are you talking about I see life out here clearly now? Or is it that you're seeing that thing, that life force inside of you more clearly? You're seeing your heart, your soul, the connection between the two more clearly. You're understanding that everything out there is coming from what is in here and your relationship to it. I see life so clearly now that I am getting ready for my soul to come forward and dive in. Are you ready? Here we go. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. What are you ready to do? Ginny? I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. What are you ready to do? I'm diving in to the sweetest kind of life, to the deepest kind of love. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. Great. Thank you, ladies. So how do you feel? You feel ready? Yes? Good. So then let's bring up Dr. Kirby. Wherever you want. That's good.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh. How are you today?
Hello, I'm wonderful.
Good. Tell us what our theme is this month.
Love in action.
There you go.
Love in action.
So how are you doing that?
Wow. Well, I've been keeping it on my mind and in my heart, and really witnessing where it is I'm coming from at any given moment.
Right.
So it's not all the time, of course, but you know, whenever I make a transition, like get in the car, get out of the car, or get home, and it downloads into my mind and heart.
So it's funny, you said it's not all the time. So if you're not coming from love in action, and it's okay, what are some of the other ways? Where else do we come from in action?
Well, for me, I think I just go on autopilot, honestly. I get in the car, I take a breath, love in action, and then I go on my way. So I'm not necessarily thinking about it all the time, but it is in my heart.
But if you don't come from love, what else could you come from?
Oh, anything.
Like what?
Fear.
Fear, okay. Anybody? Fear? Anxiety. Anybody have anxiety?
Yeah.
It's funny, I have a slide today for you, all you anxious people.
Impatience is...
Yeah. Impatience?
Yeah.
Are you an impatient person?
I can be with my husband, David.
Obviously, he's not here today, is he?
No.
Is he online watching? Will you have to deal with this when you get home?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's been amazing. It's been an amazing week. Ever.
So what do you get impatient with David about, besides the fact that you have a house renovation that's taken 5 years?
He said that we're going to be ready by the end of March.
Did he?
This March.
Which March? 2025 or 2026?
This March.
Okay, I trust David. He is an amazing man. And her husband is doing a ginormous renovation of their house single-handedly. He's doing it himself.
Yes, for the most part. Yeah, totally. So that's
Kirby does nothing. She lives in a magic house. I'm kidding. That was a joke.
But every day I am looking through my mind's eye of the completed home.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be there to know. And when I'm not there, that's when I get impatient. You know, I want it now.
So we've got fear, we've got anxiety, we've got impatience. What else do you come from? Do you ever come from judgment? Anybody?
Yes,
Any judgy people out here?
I used to be way more judgy.
Yeah.
But I'm not so much.
How about self-judgment? Who's our self-judgers out there? That's pretty much everybody, isn't it, at some point or another?
But I have to say, you know...
You're much better.
Yeah. Sticking to the practice and
Q-Bods really helped a lot of people get out of their judgments. Didn't you get out of your judgments?
Yeah.
You're all like, I did, but it's over.
And the love only is really about, and there's a question on my heart that's been there for some time, is like, what is mine to do?
Yeah.
And when I am dropping into loving myself, letting go of my self-judgments, because that's not reality. That's not real.
It's also not going to.
Real.
It's not going to move you forward.
No. And you know, if we're worried about what other people are thinking, it's silly, because everybody else is thinking about what everyone else is thinking about them. They're not thinking about you.
True.
They're in their own minds,
True.
right?
That's why I love that book. Is it Terry Cole Whitaker that wrote "What You Think of Me Is None of My Business"?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wish people wouldn't make it my business.
Yeah.
By telling me what they think of me.
But it went really deep this week. Can I share?
Yeah.
So it was in the end of the week, and I had a follow-up MRI. I have a little tremor going on. They don't know why. So had a follow-up MRI, and if any of you ever had an MRI before, you know you go into this little tube.
Yes.
You have to be perfectly still, and you're there for about 45 minutes. So I decided...
Perfect time for meditation.
Yeah, that's exactly. I closed my eyes, and I went into meditation.
Yep.
Love in action, what is mine to do, loving myself, and I had the most amazing experience.
That's great.
My initial degree in my bachelor's is in fine art. So when I lived in San Francisco, I did a bunch of shows, and I was, doing artwork. And it's been a long time, because I went on this journey to grow up and to be more spiritually mature, more emotionally intelligent, and to be a leader in my own life. And what came through was an entire show, and with all the pieces that was going to be done.
That's great.
And I was so excited, and I shared with David last night, and he got excited, and because he has some things to do.
So you're announcing here that you're going to be doing a show?
Well, yes. Okay. I wasn't planning, but...
Hey, it's called In Action.
In Action. Oh, and David, he said, love in action is so much more expansive and just fulfilling than love in action. Does that make sense?
Love.
The inaction of love is...
Oh, the inaction, yeah.
It constricts us.
Yeah.
But then when
Love
we're in action...
In action.
Yeah. Then we are growing, We are evolving.
Well, that's
and
great.
We're getting downloads of things that are ours to do and ours to listen to.
You know, it's funny. The MRI, I don't like close places, so MRIs for me are very difficult because I'm claustrophobic, and I can sit still for like an hour, but if you tell me to sit still, anybody else? Tell me to sit still, and I see every reason why something has to move.
That's the rebel in you.
Yeah, well, there is, and it serves me well most of the time. So I now, when I have to have an MRI, I bring my music with me, and I ask them to pipe my music through the speakers, and it works great. And I always use the same song, which is Donna Michael singing God is Holding Me. And it's just this beautiful, I used it when I had radiation therapy, when I had cancer 15 years ago, and they played it all over the room when I would go in and I had to be perfectly still because that laser could have come and taken my vocal cord out. And so I had to be perfectly still for like, what was that? It was like, I think it was only like 8 minutes or 9 minutes. Still. But her song is about 8 or 9 minutes with music and then vocal. So they'd turn it on, I'd go out, she'd finish the last note, and I'd feel the book take me out. And it was perfect. And when I left, well, you need more of me? When I left, what is that? Something's happening here. It's too loud. Doesn't it seem loud? Yeah, it's really loud, Larry. So when I left, they asked me if they could keep the CD. They said, can we keep this? Because there are a lot of Christians that, it just killed me. There are a lot of Christians that come here that this would really work for. I was like, okay. I said, good. Well, whoever it works for, that's awesome. Let the Catholics use it too, by the way. Yeah.
You're leaving gifts wherever you go, James.
I do, wherever I go, whatever I'm doing. So shall we do our affirmation?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, we ready? Okay. I'm just going to say it once, and then I am just going to ask you to stand up and say it. Okay? So here we go. Just take it into your heart. Close your eyes. Just feel it. I activate love with every choice I make. How does that land? Yeah. Good? Okay, stand up. All right. So make sure your feet are grounded. Really feel the ground beneath your feet.
Let everything go. See if you can drop all of your anxiety. Drop everything away, and let's say these words.
Yes. All right, here we go. Together.
I activate love with every choice I make.
Good. Beautiful.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Let's give it up for Dr. Kirby. Thank you, Kirby.
Can you help me down?
Huh?
Can you help me down?
Yes, yes, the heels. I know.
I don't wear heels very often.
I don't know how Carol does it, because Carol's heels are like 6 inches tall, aren't they? Yeah. So, it's so great. You know, I used to have to, whenever I asked Stan Galperson to sing before, in the early days, it was like pulling teeth to trying to get him to sing. And he'd be like, no, I need like months to prepare and figure out what I want to do. I was like, okay. But then he sang, and then he sang again, then he sang again. Now he comes to me. It's great. Now he says, I have a song. And I'm like, great. Can you do it next week? He went, done. And here he is, Stan Galperson.
And I'm so grateful to do this with the lovely and talented Minnie Schinnerer. Okay, so here's some love in action for you. Many times I've tried to tell you, many times I've cried alone. Always I'm surprised how much you cut my feelings to the bone. Don't want to leave you really, I've invested too much time. You got that easy to the thoughts that complicates your mind. We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words, we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong, we belong together.
Maybe it's a sign of weakness when I don't know what to say. Maybe I just wouldn't know what to do with my strength anyway. Have we become a habit? Do we distort the facts? Now there's no looking forward.
There's no looking back when you say we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words, we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong together. Close your mind, try to sleep now. Close your eyes and try to dream. Clear your mind and do your best to try and wash the palate clean. We can't begin to know it, how much we really care. I hear your voice inside me, I see your face everywhere when you say we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words, we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong together. We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words, we're both falling under. Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong together. We belong.
We belong.
We belong. We belong. We belong. Thank you.
Amazing. Stan Galperson, Mindy Schinnerer. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Stan. That was great. Woo! Not your usual Sunday song. But that's what I loved about it when he came to me with that. So the song is called We Belong. And I'm going to start there, as I often do with the songs that we do. So we belong to the light. We belong to the thunder. Valentine's Day is coming up. Does everybody have their Valentine picked out? Oh, God. Great audience. You're like, Valentine's Day, move on. So, this is a love song of two people saying no matter what we're going through, we really belong together. And when you look at this in a universal fashion, we are a very, very divided people right now. Do you notice that? Very divided. And yet, we belong together, regardless of what's going on. And when I look at this in a quantum sense, when I look at I look at my slides and it suddenly says, you don't belong here. Hold on. Really? It's asking me to verify myself. Hold on, please. You know what? I'm probably going to have to ignore my notes. Don't you love it when that happens? It's all right, I have slides. So, we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. If I look at this in a quantum sense, the idea for me is that the light, of course, is the divine, the absolute, as Ernest Holmes would say, the absolute. The thunder, perhaps, is the relative, what's happening in the world. So there's the absolute and the relative, which for years science of mind has been teaching us that dualistic notion that there is the absolute and the relative. Still, in many churches, you're going to hear that being taught. There is the absolute and the relative. The relative is the world of form out here, and the absolute is the divine. Except that before he died, he changed his mind. And no one seems to be paying attention to that. Before he died, he said, no. The absolute is the relative at the level of the relative. Meaning, it's all God, and you can live God in the most sublime way, or you can live God in the most depleted way. Your choice. So, yeah, I'm like, well, I won't go to that anymore. So, now I'm just not going to know which slide is next. We'll all do this together. Yes, we belong together. So the understanding I got from this song as I listened to it over and over this week, let me say this. I've been really thinking about what I was going to talk about today. As a minister, you deal with a lot of people's emotions, a lot of people's feelings. It's not a surprise that in this particular spiritual center, there are mostly liberal Democrats, but there are some conservative Republicans as well. And my job is to honor and respect all of it. But I can tell you that as a minister, much of my week was talking people off of ledges and talking about anxiety and listening to people complain and people that are scared to death about what our country's going through, what's going to happen, So, and sometimes it's just not enough to say to them, you just have to trust that life is unfolding perfectly. Because most people don't want to hear life is unfolding perfectly when their life is falling apart. Right? So I had a lot going on this week with that, and then some things just popped up, and I had to laugh. I was driving home from somewhere, and I was stopped in traffic, and I looked up, and it was like, anxious? Jesus offers rest. And I was like, does he though? I mean, really? Does Jesus really offer rest? And I had to think to myself about this. I had to really ask myself, see, they're hearing what we're saying. We're out of here momentarily. No, Jesus offers rest. And so I had to give myself some time to think about Jesus. I'm teaching an advanced consciousness class right now where Jesus has been very much in the forefront of this particular book called The Not Yet God. And it's the concept of the book is that we are God, we're just not yet aware of it. And we are not yet leaning into it. We have not yet embraced it, embodied it enough, but we are God. And it's an amazing book, and it brings up a lot about Jesus and Jesus' life and Christ consciousness, which is what Jesus had. So I'm looking at this, I'm going, anxious, Jesus offers rest. And I was like, yeah, okay. It's a long red light. And I'm thinking, people are beeping now, and I'm like, whatever. Look, I'm getting rid of my anxiety. No, but I'm thinking about Jesus, and I'm thinking about what I'm teaching, and I'm thinking about how many questions I have now about religion and about spirituality, where we're going as a religion. Last night, I went to the event, the Topanga Reach event, and thank you for all of you that showed up and went. It was wonderful. It was spiritual community in this unbelievable. Who knew they had a house like this in Woodland Hills? I never thought of a house like this. It was like so many stories, and it was just beautiful. but all the pillows that were out in the sound bath and everything that was prepared in this space. And the age range really was somewhere in 40s and 50s, maybe 30s and some 20-somethings. And I was like, this is what people want of that age. This is what they want. They want community. They want experiential. They want to feel God. They don't want to be lectured to about God. They want to feel God. And I hope we do that here, because that's my job, to bring that awareness of it. Which is why there's so much music, and why we have our sound baths, and why Dr. Eric does his 9D sound experiences. We want you to experience what God is. So this made me laugh. And so this is my title of my talk today, On My Way to Church. And that's kind of how I see myself. Although now I'm thinking he looks like you. Doesn't he? Yes. That's Joselito, Dr. Joselito, on his way to church as a child. It's a Catholic church. And he's on his way in. I didn't even think of that when I picked that picture today. I'm looking at all these pictures. When you put in the pixels, you put in boy going to church. And so all these pictures come up, and so many boys going to church. And then I just picked this one. And the reason why my talk title is On My Way to Church is because of the word church. If Nick were here today, he'd be like, "Oi, church." But you know what? What is church? Church is a building. Church is a place. Forget about the concept of it and the overall consciousness of it. But a church is a building. And I, as a child, went to church every day. I was going to be a priest. I had my little missal. Everybody in the neighborhood saw me every morning walk to church with my missal out here, so they knew where I was going and that I was a very good Catholic boy. So I would go to church every single day. Where was church? Church was a place I would go to meet God. I see church and I think God. That's where, if I go in, still today, when I'm out and about, if there's a big, gorgeous church, poor Kevin, he's got to go into that church with me, or he goes to Starbucks and I go into the church. And I go into the church and I meet God. Now I'm aware that I'm not really meeting God. I'm actually up-leveling my consciousness to walk in and feel the presence of who I already am, but perhaps don't remember. And perhaps I haven't been paying attention to that, as Kirby was saying, as I'm walking along the streets, thinking a million different things, and then a church, God. So really, this room is a church. It's a place where you come on Sundays to meet yourself. It's a place where you come to understand yourself, to understand who you are. And I've been a little annoyed lately about how much people hate the word church, and especially the word God. And they're all like, it's divisive, don't use it. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is divisive, but maybe I need to use it to move the divisiveness in a different direction and stop buying into the divisiveness, but actually step into, as Ernest Holmes says, show me a man who's for something and against nothing. So this is a church, and we are a church. The Global Truth Center is a spiritual center, but it is a church. It is a place where people come to see who they are. And when they leave here, they remember who they are, even if it's for a brief moment until you get on the 101. Whatever it takes to remember who you are, right? So that's where we are today, on my way to church. So Mel Robbins, who, by the way, wrote the book, The Let Them Theory, that Thor Chalgren will be teaching starting tomorrow night. I hope you're all going to be there. Small, consistent action changes everything. Small, consistent action changes everything. So we're talking this month about love in action. I love, Kirby gave a great entrance to this, the idea of the action part of this, the active part of this. So if it's love in action, a lot of people misunderstand that. They think that it means, even this, love only. Love only means I ignore everything. I see nothing but love. It's all good, it's all God. I've told the story many times about the Northridge earthquake, where my landlady said to me, It's all good, it's all God. Your house will suddenly rise up. It had already fallen down. And I was standing in it naked during the earthquake because I was thrown out of bed and the wall fell out. And I'm in the street. And then she's like, God, and she was a religious scientist. God will build your house. God will fix this. So I finally had to say, Rose. Her name was Rose. Rose. God is not going to fix this. You need to fix this. You own this house. You're the landlady. You need to fix this. And she said, yes, I trust that God will fix this. I was like, Jesus is not coming here to fix this. So I said, so Rose, here's the deal. Sweet woman too, very sweet woman. I said, Rose, here's the deal. I'm not paying any more rent. I'm going to save all my rent and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to pay to fix this. I'm going to pay with my rent, and once it's all paid off, I'll start paying your rent again. And don't you know she didn't miss a beat? And she went, see, God takes care of everything. Now, what I realize now is that she actually realized I was God. That's how I see it now. Yes. And maybe she actually did know that, because that's the truth. So, small, consistent action changes everything. So if it's love in action, it's not about sitting down and just being very loving. It's not about passivity at all. I had something in my notes I wanted to share with you, and now it's gone right out of my head. So let's see what's next. Toyohiko Kajawa. I looked that up. They told me how to say it. It's not enough to have ideals. We must translate them into action. So something else happened this week along the way. I got a phone call from a minister friend of mine, well, one of our ministers, Rick Tamlin, who spoke last night in Palm Springs. And he's one of our ministers here. So he called me and said, I'm getting so many calls and I'm bombarded with people that are scared to death, and the anxiety and the fear about what's going on in our country. And I said, He said, I want to speak to it, but I know you don't like us to speak politics in church. And I said, that's correct. I said, you have to find a way to speak to everyone, not just one group who's anxious. And so we had this long talk, and I don't know what he said last night, but we did talk for about a half an hour. And he said, all right, I feel better. I think I know what I'm going to do. And then, this is all week. And then I get an email from someone saying, you should look at your student's talk from 2 weeks ago. My student, Reverend Dr. Jonathan Zenz, who runs a Unity Church now in Tucson, Arizona, and he went all political. He said, isn't he one of your students? Don't you teach not to go political at church? I was like, well, he is one of my students, but he's now a doctor of consciousness studies where he runs a Unity Church, and I have no business getting into his business. I said, but I will go look at it. So I looked at it. And then I called Jonathan, and I was like, Jonathan, I loved what you said. It was really great. He said, I know, and I got so much flack. People were like, I don't come here for politics. I come here for spirituality. And so this was one of the quotes that Jonathan said. He said, this is a quote. This is what he said. So I'm quoting him. He said, Jesus, remember he's at Unity. Lots of Jesus in their talks. So he said, Jesus was political. He just wasn't partisan. And people got very pissed off about that. And I said, oh my God, that makes brilliant sense. Jesus was political. He's not partisan. Jesus did not care if you were a Jew or a Roman, a Pharisee or a rabbi. He told you when you were doing things incorrectly. He told you when you were grabbing for power. He told you when it was all about money. He told you when you weren't coming from love only. And he didn't care who he said it to. Now, the outcome of that wasn't very rosy, if you remember the ending of that story, right? But Jonathan was like, I didn't go political. I merely said that. That's all I said. And people thought that was very political. And I've been spending a lot of time this week really asking myself what I was going to talk about this Sunday. What was I going to say? With so much coming down on me from many of you and from a lot of people around the country that watch me and study with me are asking me, where are you going to go? What are you going to say? How are you going to stand up for what needs to be stood up for in this country? And when I heard that statement, I was like, Jesus was political. I mean, please, I played Jesus twice, so I know all about Jesus. And I remember the scene where the money vendors are there, and I got to go all over the stage and throw everything around and then collapse in abject despair over my behavior. That was what I thought then. Now if I were to play it again, I'd be thrilled. I'd just do them all off and go, yeah! That was what Jesus did, right? But he wasn't partisan. He wasn't saying, this is my group and I'm going to defend them. He was saying, we are one. We are together. We belong together. And since we belong together, we must take care of one another. And since we belong together, we must stand up when we see injustices put upon certain people for no reason other than they are that type of person. So I think it's important for us as a community, a nonpartisan community, to stand up for people and to stand up for love only. Now, it's not enough to have ideals. We must translate them into action. We have a lot of ideals in this center, don't we? We have a lot of beliefs, a lot of philosophies, but they're on the wall. Love only. If we're going to come from love only, how do I speak out? Well, Gandhi did it. He just stopped eating. And that was a very bold action that he took from love without attacking anyone else. I'm not telling you all to stop eating, just to be clear. But I am asking today, what is ours to do? What is mine to do in the face of this? In the face of so much anxiety? And that takes me back to Jesus. You know, anxious? Jesus can help you rest. Well, yeah, Jesus' philosophy and the Christian philosophy of love one another as I have loved you. Treat your neighbor as yourself. All of that philosophy is what we teach, is what we are living. And so when we go to the quantum field and we understand it's all relative, here's the thing. The reason why love in action is so important, I say life is unfolding perfectly all the time. And I believe that. I live my life by that. And life is unfolding perfectly. My life is unfolding perfectly because my life unfolds according to my reaction to what is going on in the world. My world. My reaction. If my reaction's off, my experience of life is going to be off. If my reaction is negative and angry, my life is going to be negative and angry. If my life is loving and important and has integrity, then my life is going to be that as well. That's how this works. That's how the universe works. That's how my life is unfolding perfectly works. I am not saying that we believe that there's a God somewhere or an energy somewhere or an entity somewhere that is making sure that no matter what you do, it's all going to come out well in the end. That's the old school. That's just not how it works. Will it all come out well in the end from a quantum understanding that life is nothing more than energy and that energy is love? Yes, it will. But it could burn everything up in its wake, trying to just get back to its original source, its original purpose. You are responsible. You are absolutely 100% responsible for the lives you're living. And your life will unfold perfectly to the degree that you are clear about what that means. And it can't just be about you. Because as the song said, we belong together. There's only one of us. So yes, is it important for us all, every single one of us, to speak out? Yes, but from love only. Love has to come out of our mouths in action. And that's the turmoil, isn't it? It's hard sometimes to see what we see, to know what we believe, to know what we feel, to want to do something, but to take that moment of saying, what is the most loving, responsible action I can take in the face of this? These are the conversations I've had all week talking people off of ledges. One person said to me, well, how are you going to feel when gay marriage goes away? And I said, I'll feel married to my husband no matter what they do. I said, but I will charge the streets in support of love and in support of people having the right to love. I walked for women's rights. I walked when the Supreme Court decided to put it back to the states, and many states lost a woman's right to choose. I went and marched on that. I didn't march against the Supreme Court. I marched for a woman's right to choose. Do you see the difference? Your consciousness makes the difference. So, Michael J. Fox says, our challenges don't define us, our actions do. You know what else doesn't define you? All of your complaints. I mean, because a lot of people are complaining right now, have you noticed? But what's complaining going to do without action? Complaining is just going to keep it in place, whatever you're complaining about. So our jobs in this idea of love and action, love is the centrifugal force of the universe that is moving everything forward, right? Don't we all agree with that? Love is this expansive, emotional journey for every single being, all energy. Inaction is your job. Love in and of itself is inaction. Inaction is for us. What are we going to do with that love, with that energy? It was very difficult this week to talk to so many people. And there was a moment I turned to Kevin. I got off the phone. I walked into the kitchen and I was just getting off the phone. He goes, who have you been talking to? I was talking to someone for a very long time who was very upset. And I explained what I was doing. He said, so what are you going to do about it? I said, I just did it. I loved someone. I heard someone. I listened and helped them get back to a place where they can now take action, but not from a hateful heart. And if that's our job, then that's good. That's a really important part of what we do. So, anxious? Jesus offers rest. It does. But you know what else does? The science of mind. This philosophy. To me, it's so important that we honor the work of Ernest Holmes. And the funny part is, of course, Ernest Holmes took everybody else's work and synthesized it into a formula that we could understand. Because Thomas Troward, as brilliant as he was not everyday reading for people. The man never found a period that he liked. So it was very difficult to follow Thomas Troward, perhaps. And then Ernest Holmes came along and, mixed it up and said, here's what it really is. And for me, Dr. David Walker, my mentor, he went even a further step. He made it funny and really colloquial. And Dr. Walker would, when I first heard him speak, I was like, that's what it is. And I would like to think that I've taken it even a further step. I don't like too many periods either. I'm starting to get better at that. But I'm taking it the further step of saying, here's what Ernest Holmes wanted us to know at the end of his life. And here's where we are today with science. Here's what the science field, the quantum metaphysics, is all about. I had a young man ask me last night at that gathering, saying, so what is quantum metaphysics? He said, he was like 27, I think. He said, I took physics in college, hated it, absolutely hated it. So why would I like quantum metaphysics? Why would I like quantum metaphysics? I said, well, here's what I think. Physics is all those formulas and stuff, and it makes us all insane, and I didn't like physics either. I said, but physics is telling you what's the subparticle world all about, what's going on in the world. Quantum explains what the subparticles in the space is all about. Quantum metaphysics is, now that you know this is what the world is about, this is what energy is, this is who you are, what's behind it? What's behind all of that? Quantum metaphysics, beyond the physical. What's beyond all of it? Well, you know what it is? If the world is broken into just particles in space, and there are way more space than particles, and the particles in the space together are one thing, and if that is creative, and that is energy, and it's always, always creating, it's always energetic, then what's behind it is the force, the life force that we call God, that moves all of it forward, that keeps it moving at all times. And it's going to keep doing that, no matter what we do with it. And we have to start realizing, and not falling into the habit of saying, it's all doing exactly what it's meant to do. No, no, no. It is doing exactly what it's meant to do. But are you doing exactly what you're meant to do to have the life you want? Because that's what it takes. It will take all of us, as Amit Goswami says, to become quantum activists, to start to really understand, here's what the energy is, here's who I am, now put that love in action. Last quote. Napoleon Hill said, "Don't wait. The time will never be just right. But the time will always be right now." So the question becomes, what are you going to do with your now to make the world a better place? Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. All that without notes. So that's, yeah. There are no accidents. It's just, okay, let's take, yes, right? Yeah, it's jazz. Without notes, jazz. Jazz hands. So let's take a deep breath. You know, I say all this and then I go out and try to live it. And I hope we all do. Because, you know, I'll go listen to this again just to make sure I heard what I said. And live it. Really live it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this rich spiritual community. This is our giving, so I invite you to take out your contribution. I say thank you in advance for everything that comes forward that helps support this center. Everything online, you have a little button there for you guys to push as well. If you could give me a little bit of pretty music there, Robbie. In that understanding that life is unfolding perfectly and that the universe is constantly moving forward and expanding everything, what I know is that finance, prosperity, money in action is God, constantly flowing forth with everything. So I say thank you for everything that is given here today. I say thank you to the Board of Trustees that knows exactly how to use it. And I say thank you to every person here, online, or listens to this at any time for adding your consciousness to this beautiful celebration. And I just let it be so as we say together, and so it is. And now we get to have some gratitude. Hit it, Robbie. A little Michael Jackson, except it's not Michael Jackson. It sounds like him. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Everybody now.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This marvelous, this marvelous, this marvelous day.
This marvelous, this marvelous, this marvelous day.
Carol.
Thank you for my peace, Spirit. Thank you for my peace.
Thank you for my peace, Spirit. Thank you for my peace.
My abundant, abundant, abundant peace.
My abundant, abundant, abundant peace. Mindy.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life.
My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
'Cause I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Okay, so yell out to me. What are you grateful for? Friends. What else? What? Health, yes. Beauty. Me, thank you. And you, what are you grateful for? Come on, yell it out. Community. Love. Steve, what are you grateful for? Us, you and Diane. Everybody. Diane, what are you grateful for? Health, great. Anybody have any? Pavel, what are you grateful for? Me, oh, thank you. What are you grateful for, Craig? My friends? Okay, good. Okay, everybody. So here we go. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Let me hear you now.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This marvelous, this marvelous, this marvelous day.
This marvelous, this marvelous, this marvelous day.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
'Cause I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Thank you. Just say that really quickly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Make it really soft.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so it is.
Good morning. It's Sunday, February 9th, and here are your GTC announcements. Coming up on the calendar, Soul Immersion will be on hiatus this coming Friday so that all can celebrate a soulful experience of being immersed in love on Valentine's Day. Soul Immersion will return the fourth Friday of the month. Tomorrow, our next Consciousness Studies class begins. It's Relationship Rules with Dr. Thor Chalgren. We'll be featuring reading from the #1 New York Times bestseller, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Sign up for the class today. You'll find the link on our calendar page. 2 weeks from today, we have our next Divine Dining and Doing event. It's Bingo, hosted by Kevin Bailey and Al Wellen. This event takes place on Sunday, February 23rd at 2 p.m. It'll take place live here in Westlake and will also be available to play online on Zoom. Sign-ups begin tomorrow, and you'll find the link on our calendar page. Our spring retreat in Malibu for practitioners and ministers is now open to all who want to participate in this amazing experience. You'll spend 2 nights at the Sarah Retreat Center with sound baths, workshops, and lots of free time to enjoy the experience. The retreat begins Friday, March 28th, and you can sign up now on our website. You'll find the link on our calendar page. Finally, you can now sign up for our wine tour on May 3rd. We have a limited number of tickets left, some of which are here in person today and some of which are online. If you want to attend this May 3rd event, we recommend getting your tickets today. You'll find the link on our calendar page. You can always find out what's going on and make a donation using the QR codes you'll find on the back of our monthly theme cards. Use the camera on your smartphone and you'll go right to the calendar and donation pages on our website. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Thank you, Thor. I'm going to talk about the retreat. The retreat we did last year was just spectacular. The retreat, practitioners and board members and ministers all get first shots at it. And the retreat's pretty full already. So when we open it up to the congregation, there's not that many spaces left. I think there are maybe 14 spaces left of the 48 that we have. So if you think that you would like to be a part of this 48-hour experience, it's at the Sarah Retreat. It's a beautiful retreat center. We have a labyrinth walk that we'll be doing. Eric will be doing a 9D, his breath workshop. We do a sound bath, and there are workshops as well. We have all of our meals together. It's great dining up there. So, and then it closes on Sunday morning, and then we all come here for service. It's just it's a great bonding experience. So if you would like to be, if you're a practitioner and you haven't signed up yet and you meant to, we're now open to everybody. And we're open to everybody online too. There are people flying in from other states to be a part of this. So if you'd like to be a part of this wonderful weekend, please make sure you do that. Thor, you had something you wanted to say? Do you need a microphone? Here. Oh, it's right there.
2 quick announcements. One is we're still offering the wine tour, which is May 3rd, Saturday, we have, talk about just a few spots left. We have a few spots left on that.
Yeah, I think there's only like 8 spots left.
Yeah. So I'm going to be outside at the table. If this speaks to you and you want to be part of this amazing experience, come see us, because the worst thing would be,
I know.
Oh,
Every
I meant
year,
to.
somebody says, "Oh, I meant to sign up. Can't you squeeze me in?" No, because it's a bus, and it only has,
Get on
what is
the
it, Diane?
bus.
54. There's 54 seats on the bus. If you're not one of those 54, you can't get on the bus.
And you can't sit in the bathroom.
And you can't. And you can't. Somebody said to me, "Well, can I follow in a car?" I was like, "No, you can't."
Yeah. No. So that's so. On the topic of this book, and yesterday I sent out to people who are already signed up for the class. In her introduction, she talks about the idea of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule, which is something that she used to get herself to take action. So if you're thinking about the wine tour, make that decision and go 5, 4, 3,
5, 4,
2,
3,
1.
2, 1, buy it.
Buy it. Exactly
Yes.
right. So Dr. James mentioned it. The class starts tomorrow. I have, I think, 5 of these books left. So if this is something where you want to take
And by the way, you can't get this book. You go to Amazon to buy it, and they tell you it's going to take
weeks.
Yeah.
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 So we have 5 of these left. This is
And she is not Thomas Troward.
no, it's very readable, very accessible.
Yes.
In the
I feel
class,
like I'm giving him a bad name today.
No, you know,
am,
I've liked him more.
I do
but
love
you have
him.
to read
Yeah.
him like 4 or 5 times where you go, I get it.
That's
now.
what that sentence
Yeah.
meant. Yeah.
And I will talk a little bit about him tomorrow night, but only little bits. One of the things I'm excited about, and I was working on this the last couple of days, is for this class, we're going to have essentially a note-taking guide where I give you everything in one document that you can use to take notes on, and it's got all the quotes and everything in it. So if you're someone who's like, I didn't get that quote, or I missed that, you will have this. I'm sending out to everyone who's in the class tomorrow. So I encourage everyone, if this speaks to you, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I love the simplicity of this. It's like if someone doesn't like you, let them. If someone's isn't doing what you think they should be doing with their life, let them. Tough to do with your children, but that's really a great thing to do. Let them.
It is, and one of the things that the way that I've been using it is bringing it back to discovering what my beliefs are,
Yeah.
like my rules, the idea of I have rules about the way I think people should be, and when I bring it back, I'm discovering, oh, that's a belief that I have. So now I have the choice to say, do I want to believe that, or do I want to have something that empowers me more? So that's the work that we're doing in the class. I'm looking forward to it. Very excited.
Okay, good. I am
Thank
too.
you.
Yes. Okay, everybody, let's bring in our children. Hey, welcome back. What do you have? You do? Okay. Oh, there you go.
Hello. Today we started with a conversation about love, getting ready for Valentine's Day.
Do you all have your Valentine's cards to give out to people?
Not yet.
You're all going, no.
But we talked about love and what that means, and also self-love and how we can love ourselves and what things make us happy, just because that's a really important thing for them to always be thinking about. And then Ryder had a really deep question that we are going to explore more at a later time, but he would like to share that.
How do we exist, and how do us even form like this, and how are we even alive? That's the question.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a hard one. So how do we exist? What you're really asking is, who are we, right? Yes? Who are you? How'd you get here? How did this body turn into this?
I don't know about that, and that's what I want to know about.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she's going to talk to you guys about that next time.
So then-
I'll talk to you all about it sometime too. But you know what? You have another question too? I hope it's easier.
My brother wanted to make me say, I know about that.
I don't want that.
No, I know about that.
I don't know about that. Is that the way? Is that?
Yeah, I know.
is that-
Okay, and then we
So
had
what's the plants
we
about?
had succulents. So each of them got a succulent to love and care for and listen to, so that they understand what it needs. And then they decorated it with loving things and loving words. There were rocks that they could draw on, words or
Where's your succulent?
hearts, or
Where's your succulent?
he didn't bring it up, but everybody
it.
has one.
Okay, this is cool. What did you give names to your succulents? What's your name?
Carl.
That's Carl. Carl the succulent. What's this one's name?
Honestly, I don't really know.
Okay. So it's called honestly. That's honestly.
Henry.
Yep.
What's his name?
Henry.
Henry.
Mine is Bob.
Bob the succulent.
Dwayne.
Dwayne. Are these all men so far? Isn't there a girl succulent in here?
John, and his last name is I don't know about that.
And what is your name?
Sir.
What?
Sir.
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 Sir. Sir. Okay.
His
Apparently we have
plant's
a.
name is Sir.
Okay, so we have an entire stage of male succulents. How did that happen?
Well, we actually did get into the conversation of whether or not plants have gender.
Oh.
So
Do plants have gender?
we talked a little bit about feminine energy and masculine energy.
I know you all want to be downstairs now next week, right? Just to see what happens down there. Thank you, Shauna. God, stay up here for a second, okay? So, we talked about this the other week. I'm going to have you do it. Come here. How's your reading? Good. What does that say? Wait, what does it say?
Love only.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
They're working on it too, don't worry.
I probably don't know what anything means.
Yes, you do. Come here. What's the top thing say?
Forgive everything.
Do you know what that means?
Probably not.
Yeah, you do. Do you forgive things? Do you forgive your brothers?
Sure.
Always?
I don't even have brothers.
Do you forgive your sister?
Sure. Probably not, but.
Okay, and what's the last one?
Remember who you are.
Do you know who you are?
Yeah, I'm a human.
Are you just a human?
Yeah. I'm a human.
Do you think you're maybe even more than that?
I'm an alien.
Oh. Okay, so you're a human and an alien. Okay, we got work to do here, folks. Okay. So, parents, come on up. We're going to sing this out. Come on up if you're a parent. Come on up to your child. Ready, Robbie? So, first of all, thank you all for being here today. Thank you for bringing all of your love and all of your... It's just went out. No, it's good now. We're closing the whole month out with Love Cover Me for a very important reason. Oh, good. Hi. Come in. Because then you can all join us when we get to the end and we're all just singing love at the top of your voice. Ready, Tiffany? As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every step I take, every last breath I make, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Everybody. Love, cover me, light every darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. How's that sound? Good idea? Love, cover me.
Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony, play every note you can find.
Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Okay, all you gotta sing is love cover me. Love cover me, light every darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong. Come on, Tiffany. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me. Okay, so now I'm going to invite you all to stand. Love cover me. We're going to be going into one word. Love cover me. What do you think that word is? Love. Love cover me. And we're going to all sing just love and take the roof off. Ready? Love, 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 love.
Cover me with love, 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 love.
That's great. You want to try it?
Love, 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 love.
You sang two loves.
Love, 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 love.
Come on, everybody, louder. Love, 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 love in action. Right, Eric? Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Yep, here we go, guys. Ready? Love, love, love. Hold it for a second. Yeah. Ready? Here we go. Love. Thank you, everybody. Have a good Sunday. Thank you, guys.